Have a nice day. Today is Saturday, 1st of June 2024. This day is celebrated as the Global Day of Parents. It's celebrated on the 1st of June every year. A United Nations General Assembly proclaimed this day in 2012 by passing a resolution that honors the parents for their restless support, sacrifice, and commitment toward their children. From the history point of view, the end of the East India Company history of 1st June takes us to the year 1874 when the East India Company was dissolved. Founded in 1600, the East India Company was a powerful trading and colonial organization that played a pivotal role in the establishment and expansion of British influence in the Indian subcontinent. Starting the newspaper analyst with the newspaper The Hindu states that Hamas says it positively views Gaza ceasefire proposal set out by Biden. Smoke rises from an Israeli airstrike in Rafah, southern Gaza Strip. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu poured cold water on Mr. Biden's talk of peace, insisting the army would continue fighting until it had eliminated Hamas's capacity to rule Gaza and pose a military threat. Hamas on Friday said it considers positively an Israeli roadmap toward a full Gaza ceasefire announced by the United States President Joe Biden, who urged end to the almost 8-month war. But swiftly afterwards, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu poured cold water on Mr. Biden's talk of peace, insisting the army would continue fighting until it had eliminated Hamas's capacity to rule Gaza and pose a military threat. The Hindu newspaper also states that from a panel to visit a forest diverted on Assam-Nagaland border, NGT to Environment Ministry. The Assam Forest Department illegally allowed the use of 28 hectares of the Gilike Reserve Forest in the Sivasagar district to establish Assam Police Commando Battalion. Guwahati, the National Green Tribunal has asked the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change to constitute 3-member committee to survey a part of reserve forest on the Assam-Nagaland border illegally diverted for the establishment of Assam Police Commando Battalion. According to the petition, Assam's former principal chief conservator of forests and head of forest force M.K. Yadav had misused his power and position to illegally divert a large part of the forest area without fulfilling the requirements of the compensatory afforestation and a net present value. This, it argued, made him liable for compensating and restoring the damage done to the forest. Mr. Yadav is now Special Chief Secretary Forest in Assam government. The petitioner also cited a letter by the Shillong Regional Office of the Environment Ministry, which said the use of forest land for non-forestry activities was allowed without prior permission of the central government in contravention of the provision of the Van Sanrakshan Evam Samvardhan Adhiyam 1980. The Hindu newspaper also states that intense heat wave sweeps across Odisha. 26 deaths reported in past 24 hours. A homeless trolley rickshaw puller is seen as he naps on his cycle trolley to beat the heat wave in the summer afternoon time at the daily market area in Bhubaneswar. Many victims were truck drivers who may have succumbed to heat stroke. An intense heat wave swept across Odisha, causing 26 deaths in past 24 hours. The state government on May 30 had issued a warning of the heat wave for the next 3 days. Jharsuguda reported 10 deaths since May 29, and the cause of the deaths would be determined after post-mortem. Many of these victims were truck drivers in Jharsuguda. The daytime temperature had crossed 47 degrees Celsius on May 30, and people were cautioned not to venture out from the 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. In Rockregla, a woman rag picker was found dead while a laborer reported a succumb to a heat stroke on railway track. People should avoid prolonged heat exposure, wear lightweight, light-colored, loose cotton clothes, cover your head and use a wet cloth, hat or an umbrella while going out during the peak hours. People have been asked to drink sufficient water, even if not feeling thirsty, to avoid dehydration, the Office of the Special Relief Commissioner said. Heatwave conditions prevail in the district of the Balangnagar, Subarnapur, Baragnar, Sambalpur, Jharsuguda, Kalangandi and Kanmal. Titlaghar in the Balangir district reported a temperature of 46.5 degrees Celsius. Now, going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that election interviews, insights from Hindustan Times conversations with the key newsmakers. Election interviews, insights from the Hindustan Times conversations with the key newspaper makers. For 6 grueling weeks, India has been in the throes of the world's largest democratic exercise to elect representatives of 543 Lok Sabha constituencies that will shape the next 5 years and beyond. The scale is staggering. Nearly a billion eligible voters that go to the polling booths located in cities and villages, in mountains and near the sea. Often in the searing heat, there are plethora of factors that influence the electoral outcomes, but as always, the principal actors are people, not only those that have exercised their constitutional rights to press a button on the EVM machine, but political leaders across the parties that set narratives and shape the conversation canvas for support and take on their oppositions. Their fates inextricably linked with the result that will be announced on June 4. Here sometimes also states that Major Radhika Sen conferred 2023 United Nations Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres conferred Major Sen with the prestigious Dag Hammarskjöld Medal and the 2023 United Nations Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award during a ceremony at the World Body's headquarters on Thursday. New Delhi. Major Radhika Sen, a peacekeeper serving with the United Nations mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo (DRC), was honored for her outstanding efforts in empowering local communities, particularly women. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres conferred Major Sen with the prestigious Dag Hammarskjöld Medal and the 2023 United Nations Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award during the ceremony of the World Body's headquarters on Thursday. On the occasion of the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers, Guterres thanked Major Sen and all peacekeepers for their service, leadership, and commitment to the women, peace, and security agenda. He noted that as commander of the Indian contingent engagement platoon, Major Sen led her unit on countless patrols. Hindustan Times also states that while Indian Meteorological Department flagged New Delhi's Mungeshpur record-breaking temperature reading as a possible error, a man stand near an automatic weather station at dusk on the hot summer day in Mungeshpur, a suburb New Delhi on May 29, 2024, amid the ongoing heat wave. Power usage in India's capital surged to record high Wednesday onwards. Residents of the sprawling megacity struggled to keep cool during a crushing heat wave with the temperature sizzling above 45 degrees Celsius. Hindustan Times also states that J.Lo cancels summer tour as Affleck split rumors swirl. Jennifer Lopez said Friday she was cancelling her summer tour to spend more time with her family as rumors circulate over a split with the actor husband Ben Affleck. J.Lo cancels summer tour as Affleck split rumors swirl. Now, going towards the economy of the country from the banking and finance point of view, bank credit grows 15.3% in April. Reserve Bank of India says loans to agriculture and allied activities accelerated to 19.7% in April 2024 from 16.8% a year ago. The Reserve Bank of India's sectoral deployment of bank credit for April 2024 showed the banking sector reported higher credit growth in the first month of the fiscal 2024, led by an increase in advances to the agriculture sector. The Reserve Bank of India (RBI) said bank credit into industry rose by 6.9% in April this year compared with the 7.2% in a year ago period. Cheap engineer tech talent helping India transition up services value chain. New IT policy aims to double the number of GCCs in 5 years. Navigating these challenges, GCCs are leveraging innovative workforce strategy models such as hybrid scale, borrow argument, and co-create to achieve near, medium, as well as long-term goals, the report said. A popular Canada-based multinational clothing company that does not yet have a store of its own in India uses data analysis done by its workers in India to tell its global teams what they should stock up on after pouring through sales data. An American retail chain, which has no stores in India, manages its entire global inventory through offices in the country. Welcome to the home for global capacity centers. From the business point of view, GDP crossed 8% in financial year 2024 as services manufacturing power Q4 growth to 7.8%. Robust economic growth, says Finance Minister, third year of 7% plus growth rate. India's real gross domestic product GDP grew by a surprise 7.8% in January to March, taking the full year growth rate to 8.2% in the financial year 2023-24, the third consecutive year of the 7% plus growth. Data released by National Statistical Office on Friday showed growth in the January-March period was lower than the 8.65% expansion on December quarter. Now going to the world news, including United Nations Secretary General confers Gender Advocate Award on Indian Major True Role Model. United States President Biden presents a new Israeli ceasefire plan, calls on Hamas to accept. Sri Lanka decides to defer debt payments until 2027. President Wickremesinghe foiled a plot to plant bombs on the day of President Buckley's inauguration in El Salvador. Sanders criticizes Trump on climate change amidst a heat wave in India. Hard to meet discussions on the Russia-Ukraine war, citing problems with arrangements China. Now going towards science and tech, avian influenza center asks states to be vigilant. The H5N1 is the main avian influenza virus that had caused multiple outbreaks among the poultry globally. The states and the union territories have been advised to orient all the health care workers, private practitioners, on case definitions, signs and symptoms of avian influenza. The center has asked all states to be vigilant for any unusual deaths amongst the domestic birds and poultry and share the information with the Animal Husbandry Department immediately so that public health action can be initiated as per the National Action Plan for the Avian Influenza. A joint advisory issued on May 25 by the National Center for Disease Control (NCDC) and the Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying stated that in 2024, 4 states Andhra Pradesh, Nellore, Maharashtra, Nagpur, Kerala, Alappuzha, Kottayam and Patna Mitra districts and Jharkhand Ranchi have already reported outbreaks of avian influenza in the poultry. After Delhi, Nagpur weather gauge filter shows 56 degrees Celsius. Screen nets installed above the traffic signals to provide a cover to the commuters amid heat wave in Nagpur. Erroneous temperature recorded at another automatic weather station a day after Indian Meteorological Department attributed the record daytime temperature of 52.9 degrees Celsius in Delhi to a faulty instrument. Another station in Nagpur incorrectly reported a temperature of 56 degrees on Friday. The IMD said it was due to the failure of the electronic sensors. As in the case of the Bhubaneswar in Delhi, the erroneous temperature was recorded at an automatic weather station in Nagpur, Maharashtra. Google News suffers outage. Updates back on now. Google News suffered an outage on Friday evening with the several users facing issues and assessing it. Some users also complained of outages in Gmail services for a brief period during the day. Gmail services were up and running soon after. Google News suffered an outage on Friday evening with the several users facing issues in accessing it. Although the latest updates and the headlines on the page are back on now, during the disruption attempting the latest updates on Google News returned the result. Oh, something went wrong. Please try again, and the page does not show the usual deck of top stories and news updates. Open Artificial Intelligence says talent attempts by Israel-based company to interface in Indian elections. Open Artificial Intelligence, the creators of ChatGPT, has said it acted within 24 hours to disrupt deceptive uses of artificial intelligence in covert operations focused on the Indian elections. Open Artificial Intelligence said it committed to developing a safe and broadly beneficial artificial intelligence. Open Artificial Intelligence, the creators of ChatGPT, has said it acted within 24 hours to disrupt deceptive uses of artificial intelligence in covert operations focused on the Indian elections, leading to no significant audience increase. In a report on its website, Open Artificial Intelligence said STOIC, a political campaign management firm in Israel, generated some content on Indian elections alongside about the Gaza conflict. At last, there is a famous quotation said by C.V. Raman, whose full name was Sir Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman, birth anniversary 7 November 1888 up to 21st of November 1970, was an Indian physicist known for his work in the field of light scattering. Using a spectrograph that he developed, he and his student K.S. Krishnanan discovered that when light traverses a transparent material, the reflected light changes its wavelength. This phenomenon, hitherto to unknown type of scattering of light, which they call the modified scattering, was subsequently termed as the Raman effect or Raman scattering. Mr. Raman received 1930 Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery and was the first Asian to receive the Nobel Prize in any branch of science. Mr. Raman says a famous quotation. He says that if someone judges you, they are wasting space in their mind. The best part, it is theirs problem. Okay, thank you.